Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world that glorifies constant availability. We answer texts within seconds, pick up calls even when we're busy, and feel guilty for taking time away. Somewhere along the way, we started believing that being present all the time is what makes us valuable. But the truth is, our presence only has meaning when our absence is felt. Think about the people you admire most, the ones whose opinions you value, whose presence you cherish. They're not the ones who are always there. They're the ones who make an impact when they are. They show up with purpose, they contribute meaningfully, and when they step away, something feels missing. That's not by accident, that's by design. If you are always available, you become ordinary. If you're always accessible, you become expected. And when something is expected, it's no longer valued. When we overextend ourselves, when we try to be everything to everyone, we dilute what makes us special. The most influential people in our lives don't try to be everywhere at once. They make their presence count, and then they step away, allowing space for appreciation, for reflection, for impact. We don't appreciate warmth until we've felt the cold. We don't crave light until we've sat in the dark. And we don't truly miss people until we've had the chance to feel their absence. But absence isn't about playing games, it's about creating value. It's about showing up fully, giving your best, and then stepping away so people recognize what you bring when you're there. So don't fear distance, don't fear silence, let them miss you, because in that space, something powerful happens. People realize who you are, what you mean, and why you matter, and that is far more valuable than just being around. Here are 6 key takeaways from the speech. Presence is only meaningful when absence is felt. Constant availability can make your presence seem ordinary, while strategic absence increases appreciation. People value what isn't always accessible. When something is always there, it becomes expected. Scarcity creates value, including in relationships and leadership. Showing up with purpose matters more than just showing up. Quality over quantity. Make an impact when you're present, then step away to let that impact resonate. Absence creates space for appreciation. People don't recognize warmth until felt the cold. Letting people miss you allows them to understand your worth. It's not about playing games, it's about creating value. Intentionally stepping back isn't manipulation, it's about allowing your contributions to be recognized. True influence isn't about being everywhere, it's about being unforgettable. The most impactful people aren't the ones who are always around, but the ones who leave a lasting impression when they are. We often believe that our worth is tied to how present we are in people's lives. We answer every call, show up for every event, and make ourselves constantly available, thinking that this is how we create value. But the truth is, presence only holds meaning when absence is felt. It's in the moments of distance that people realize what someone truly brings into their lives. Consider the relationships that matter most. The leaders who inspire us, the mentors who shape us, the friends who leave an imprint on our hearts. They aren't the ones who hover constantly. They are the ones who make an impact and then step away, allowing us to reflect on their influence. Their presence isn't just about being there. It's about the energy, wisdom, and connection they bring when they are. And when they are gone, something feels different. Something is missing. That's when we truly recognize their value. When something is always available, we take it for granted. Water from a faucet, air in our lungs, sunlight every morning. We don't think about these things because they're always there. But if any of them were taken away, even for a short while, we would suddenly feel their importance. The same applies to people. When we overextend ourselves, when we make ourselves too accessible, we risk becoming part of the background noise. But when we step away, when we allow space for our absence to be noticed, we give others the opportunity to see our true impact. This isn't about withdrawing to prove a point. It's about understanding that presence isn't about quantity, it's about depth. A leader who speaks less but speaks with purpose is remembered more than one who talks all the time. A friend who shows up with intention and authenticity is missed more than one who is always around but never truly present. A moment of stillness makes us appreciate movement, just as a moment of silence makes words more powerful. And the key is not to be everywhere, but to be meaningful where you are. To show up in a way that leaves an imprint so that when you're not there, people feel it. Because in that space, in that absence, appreciation grows. And in that appreciation, true presence is found. We live in a world where anything can be accessed instantly, a message sent in seconds, a meal delivered in minutes, an answer found with a quick search. But the easier something is to obtain, the less we tend to value it. The rare, the scarce, the things that require effort to attain, these are the things we treasure. Think about a sunset. It happens every day, yet most people don't stop to watch it. But if that same sunset could only be seen once a year, it would become an event, something people would travel for, something they would cherish. The same applies to people. Those who are constantly available, always saying yes, always within reach, often find that their presence is expected rather than appreciated. But when someone isn't always accessible, when their time and attention aren't given freely to everyone at all times, their presence becomes more meaningful. This isn't about creating distance to play hard to get or to make others chase you. It's about understanding that anything given too freely risks losing its value. The best relationships, the strongest leaders, the most respected individuals, none of them are available at all times. They give when it matters, they engage with intention, and because of that, their time holds. A gift is more special when it's unexpected. A moment with someone we admire is more memorable when it's rare. An opportunity is more exciting when it's not guaranteed. That's the nature of value. It's not just about what's given, but how it's given. And when something isn't always accessible, it becomes something worth seeking, something worth appreciating, something worth holding on to. Being present is easy. Anyone can occupy a space, send a message, or sit in a room. But showing up without intention is no different from being absent. True presence is not about simply being there, it's about what you bring when you arrive. Think about a conversation where someone is nodding along but not really listening. They are physically present, but their mind is elsewhere. Contrast that with someone who leans in, asks thoughtful questions, and makes you feel truly heard. The difference isn't in their presence, it's in their purpose. The same applies in leadership, relationships, and personal growth. People who just show up without contributing, without engaging, without making an impact, blend into the background. But those who bring value, those who arrive with intention, those who give their best when they are there, those are the people who leave a mark. Time is the one thing we can't get back. Every moment spent in a place where we aren't fully engaged is a moment lost. Every meeting attended without purpose, every interaction approached with half-hearted effort is an opportunity wasted. The most respected leaders, the most cherished friends, the most impactful people aren't the ones who are always around. They are the ones who make their presence matter. A single meaningful conversation is more powerful than 1,000 small talks. A leader who speaks with clarity and direction is remembered more than one who fills the air with empty words. A moment of real connection is worth more than hours of distracted company. It's never about how often you show up. It's about what you bring when you do. When something is always there, it becomes part of the background. It blends into the everyday, unnoticed and unappreciated. But the moment it's gone, its value is suddenly clear. Absence has a way of sharpening perspective, of making people see what they overlooked, of creating the space needed to recognize what truly matters. Think about music. The notes alone don't create the melody. It's the silence between them that gives the sound its rhythm and meaning. In relationships, in leadership, in life, the same principle applies. When someone is always available, always within reach, their presence can be taken for granted. But when they step away, even briefly, the space left behind speaks louder than words. It reminds others of what they brought, of how they made things better, of the energy they carried. Absence isn't about withholding, it's about allowing time for perspective. It gives people the chance to reflect, to miss, to recognize value without distraction. It's why distance can strengthen bonds, why a pause can make something more powerful, why stepping back can sometimes bring people closer. The best leaders, the most influential voices, the most cherished individuals understand that being present all the time isn't what makes an impact. It's about knowing when to engage, when to contribute, and when to step away so that what you bring can truly be seen. In the space that absence creates, appreciation has room to grow. What once felt ordinary is now special. What was once assumed is now acknowledged. And what was once overlooked is now deeply